Trisha Paytas and Tana Mongeau were addressing it all in their new podcast episodes with each other, from Trisha wanting to name her next baby Elvis, to the recent wine scandal Tana was in, to talking about Colleen Ballinger, Jeffree Star, and Shane Dawson. They were talking about it all, and it was quite the ride. I must say, probably my favorite part though was when Trisha thought that a dog was a mouse though.
Even Joey not asking me on us, I thought it was a mouse.
But getting into what they actually talked about in this podcast, there was a lot of friendships they decided to discuss. And Shane was a topic of conversation on both of their podcasts. On Canceled, Tana asked Trisha about what kind of terms she's on with Shane, and it didn't seem like she knew anything about their falling out. And I mean, back when it happened, it was a whole ordeal, and Trisha had posted a ton of videos crying, going off on Shane, Rylan, and Jeffree. It really had started when one of Jeffree's employees was shaming Trisha, and people were like, what the heck, hoping that Jeffree would come out and like fire him, defend Trisha or something. But then it came out that Jeffree had actually shamed Trisha on a trip that they went on, made her feel really bad. She came home, she left that trip early, and it seemed like Shane was going to be sticking by Jeffree in this situation, which really hurt Trisha and led to their falling out.
It's sad because I really liked Shane the most. Like, I really loved him. I really thought he was like the one person who like always had my back. But then after we did have the little falling out, everyone was like, oh, he talked about you, he said this, and you know it's real because it's like only stuff you said to Shane. I was like, oh damn, you know what I mean? So I think all that's like just hurt and it's just sad, and I like, you know, I get it. I'm like not a great friend either, but like, you know, it's just like a whole thing. I definitely wasn't talking about him. That's the one person I never talked about. Like, I love Shane more than anything. Like, it actually hurts me so much.
She does later credit Shane for helping her so much with YouTube in the beginning, teaching her how to set up AdSense and start making money, to how to title videos. So she does still have appreciation for some of the things that he did for her, but they're not on talking terms.
Yeah, no, I owe Shane like everything too, because like obviously he helped me in like so many ways.
I feel the same way. I owe him so much.
You know
forever.
what I mean? Yeah.
He was
if like yeah. So and to me, he's not like a person, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we had our falling out or whatever, but you know, it's not like David who's like a person.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
Now on Trisha's podcast, the topic of Shane was also brought up. Tana talked about wanting him to come on her Canceled podcast, but she thinks he's just a little too scared to kind of come on. And she spoke about the terms that she's on with him, since at one point in time, she did like tweets that were calling him out for having filmed videos with Tana when she was younger, and them being quite weird videos. But despite this, they did end up talking later and had a little reunion that shocked everyone at a Jeffree Star launch party. And she was talking a little bit on this podcast about kind of making up with him in a way.
The last conversation I had with him was a really good one, a really meaningful one. It was at like a Jeffree Star skin event or something. We had a really good conversation. We both like cried and talked a lot out, and it felt like the closing of a really big chapter of my life. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with where it sits at, and I'm happy for him. And
Yeah.
Now, on the topic of Jeffree, on the Canceled podcast, they were playing a game with Trisha where they asked her if a person was canceled from her life or not. They started with Jeffree Star, which she said isn't canceled and that she wants to just be cool with everyone. But then she quickly took that back, because there's people that she does think should be canceled.
Jeffree Star canceled or not?
Oh my gosh. I think I'm just in a different era. I'm gonna just say not canceled. Honestly, seriously, because I hate having beef in general or like looming things over my head. Like, I would just say not canceled to be cool with everybody.
So I should just not even ask you about Colleen Ballinger, David Dobrik, or H3.
Cancel.
And speaking of Colleen, that was a huge topic on Trisha's podcast, as Tana took every opportunity to defend Trisha and go off on Colleen. Trisha said that she wanted to talk to Tana about having so many girlfriends in her life, and that she's tried it and it just hasn't worked for her. And Tana ends up going off.
Here's the thing. I try to have girlfriends. I try to have girls that are friends. And I tried it this summer, and it just failed miserably. It
Why?
failed miserably.
Why?
She just sent my nudes and said I looked like a fat pig in it.
oh my God, can I say her name? No, honestly,
I don't. Yeah.
that
You know.
her so hard, Trisha. And I know you sit there, you look pretty, you be nice, because if this goes in, it's gonna get clipped. And here's the thing, she is being non-problematic right now. It is me. I'm trying. This is what happened with the winery, girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have not been that angry at an influencer or a female influencer or someone I knew or someone I even kind of thought I knew in so long. who does that?
Tana said that she felt really bad for Trisha when she heard about the Colleen situation, and she said that she just feels sad that Trisha had talked about losing hope in female friendships, and said that she deserves people in her life that wouldn't talk badly about her behind her back. And she really just was praising Trisha as a mom and how far she's come. And Trisha goes on to say that she's still in shock that all of this has come out about Colleen and that she never knew about it.
I've never been more blindsided. Like I talk about this because we're like, I thought you didn't know about it. I'm like so in shock every single day. Like I literally would go to Moses. I'm like, I'm shocked. Like, how did this all happen? How did this all come to it? How did this happen? Like, I didn't know her that well, but we were always friendly. I always thought she was like wholesome, all this stuff like that. Like, I mean, how did this happen? How was I so blinded? Why did we start a podcast together when she like hated me? And
which just sucks. Like that's what sucks. Like if you don't, why would you start a
we
podcast
built a
with someone
set.
you don't
I
like?
bought the costumes. I did the glams. I was just like,
and you go
oh
all
no.
out for people you love and shit you're excited
Yeah.
about, which is what makes me 10 times angrier. People make mistakes, people gossip, but
Right.
that is so beyond that. You're just a terrible person, and at your prehistoric age.
Later on, Tana went on to joke about collabing with Trisha on her OnlyFans and said that she would hand deliver the SD card to Colleen so she could have a little viewing party. And they also just wanted to add that they don't think that Colleen has people looking out for her in her life, and that she should check her inner circle with the way that they let her post that apology video. I mean, even though it wasn't really an apology video, but the video where she's playing the ukulele, they just feel like, they're crazy, but there's people in their lives who would definitely say, hey Trisha, hey Tana, let's maybe not post this video. But Colleen definitely doesn't have people looking out for her in their opinion. Now, speaking of former friends, the two of them started talking about the Vlog Squad, as they are both people who have been around the group quite a bit. Tana said that in terms of David, they never really hung out outside of filming, so she only really knew his on-camera personality. And Trisha ended up asking her about her current terms with the Vlog Squad, and she says that some members of the group she could be cool with, but Todd isn't a fan of hers, which makes Natalie not a fan of her, and that spending a lot of time with Jeff and knowing what she knows about what happened, she just isn't supportive of David.
Actually, I just started getting really, really close with Jeff. And the whole I thing really like put it over the edge, I think. And I truly mean this. It's my formed opinion. It's not Jeff being like, form this opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do think he cares about loyalty. And if I was still kicking it with David, he would be hurt and we wouldn't be as close. But that's not it really was like seeing someone that you spend a lot of time with and you really care about go for their 10th eye surgery that they're paying for. And you're in the middle of Utah and he's stuck in this house and he's on all these he can't walk and he's bleeding out of his eyes and he's paying for it all himself. And even just every day we're driving in the car and it's like, can you look in my mirror because I can't see, which is crazy. I'm letting this blind man drive me around, but
Maybe get a driver.
and just the psychological damage, his like lack of trust, his lack of knowing if anything is real, his like, you know what I mean? And anytime I've had a conversation with them, I say, yo, I ride for Jeff. I feel bad for Jeff. I think David still has never, and in my opinion should, just say, hey, I'm really sorry that you're blind.
Now, speaking of friend drama and such, Tana revealed some tea about her time on Escape the Night, talking about how she felt bullied by two people on set, naming Gabby Hanna and Andrea Russet.
When I was on Escape the Night, I'll never forget this. Like Gabby Hanna, and honestly, and I've never said this, and Andrea Russet were so like, this was still when I was like my first season, at least I was like very newbie to the game, and I felt like they were OGs in the game, and they very much treated me like that. Like
Really?
like treated me like honestly bullying. Like it was bullying vibes on set.
Honestly, hearing Andrea Russet's name is such a throwback. I remember being in like middle and high school and watching her videos. So to hear this name is just crazy. And we're also talking about something that happened years ago, which, is something that Tana did mention. And she did praise Andrea for what she's seen of her online lately, praising her sobriety and the fact that she's sharing that journey. But it was just an unfortunate time on set. But she said that Joey did have her back during it.
Joey really did have my back though. I remember he took me in a room and was like, listen, like, I'm sorry this is happening. I love you. Like whatever.
He knew
That's-
it was happening?
Yeah, like
Why didn't you kick him off? Zero tolerance for bullying. I'd be like, hell no, don't do this to an 18-year-old.
because it wasn't giving like bullying. It was just giving like mean girl,
Like
crack
what?
a joke, whatever. I don't really remember. I really don't remember. Like Gabby was just
Yeah.
always like really like we'd butt heads a lot.
Yeah.
But Andrea was just she never liked me.
Trisha brought up how she wished that she was on Escape the Night, and Tana was surprised that Joey had never asked her to be on it. Trisha thought it was because she was too canceled to have been on, but Tana was like, no way. If I was on, you should have been. And Joey came out to kind of confirm that it is in fact because Trisha might have been a little too canceled to be on it, because he commented on a TikTok where someone posted the clip of them talking about this, saying the amount of times I tried getting her on the show, but YouTube said no. And this definitely feeds into Trisha feeling like YouTube doesn't like her. She's just associated with cancellations and such. During the episode of Canceled, she brought up the fact that the first ever episode of Canceled was with her and Tana, and it got deleted, thinking it was because she was too problematic, but Tana said that she didn't delete it, and Brooke claims that YouTube took it down.
I'm like a different type of canceled where like I told you, like even you're canceled, you guys canceled me off the podcast. Like my episode is the only one that got deleted, and I was like, I am like, wow.
I was telling her that we never did that.
We didn't do that.
It's off. It was off.
I would never delete an episode of the podcast ever.
YouTube
I like
deleted
money.
it, I thought.
Oh, I
Really?
thought
That's so random.
something in production happened.
Then that's the ultimate cancellation.
Didn't they like kick you off of YouTube or something? It was like
Me? No.
Yeah. Oh.
I've never been kicked off. Maybe off of your guys' channel.
no.
I've always wanted to and always will be associated with you, and I would just never delete anything, period.
No, I
Yeah,
know
it's
it
wild.
was a YouTube thing. I think it might have gotten sent like in our group chat or something, but it was like an actual like YouTube notification. YouTube deleted it,
my
or if there was
God,
something
damn.
in it, maybe I don't know what the episode
It was, yeah, I would never delete my most viewed podcast
It was the
episode.
it was the most viewed episode.
Now, just to top off them talking about literally everything on these podcasts, Tana was asked about the recent wine tour drama that she was in, and she said that she had just gotten off the phone with her lawyer while she was getting ready for Trisha's podcast where they were talking about that situation. And Trisha basically asked her if the backlash that she got from this was making her nervous at all, and she didn't seem to be nervous and really just seemed to take away from the whole thing that she just shouldn't have said the tour guide's name.
I only ever get stressed, I feel like, once something could potentially go to court. This one, I mean, sincerely, I had a horrible experience and I talked about it. I think it was just kind of like I left a bad Yelp review.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And if anything, she's going to get so much more business. I'm sure there's people who just want to now go
Of course.
try it out and
Yeah.
whatever. I'm learning to maybe make my aliases stronger, though.
Tana admits that she's been in so many scandals that she has become a little too nonchalant when it comes to taking them seriously. And Trisha said that she always used to get really stressed out about stuff like that happening to her where she was getting called out, but Tana just seems way too used to it at this point.
I feel it when something like comes down on me. It's like all. I mean, now I'm like married, and so I can like distract myself. But when before I was like feeling it, and I was like so scared all the time. You know, get anxiety over it. You're just like whatever.
I guess I do like sometimes get a little anxiety, or I'll read shit. I try to just take everything as constructive criticism.
Yeah.
But like, if anything, I think that now once you really learn canceled culture, you kind of realize like, oh, in a week and a half, this will blow over.
Yeah.
So it's made me almost a little too nonchalant.
Yeah.
And then when shit goes really mainstream, I'll be like, okay, wait, this is a real scandal. What can we learn from this?
So clearly they talked about a lot in these episodes. I mean, both podcasts combined are almost 4 hours, and they clearly had a lot of time to be getting into literally everything that they've been in drama-wise and much more. But I want to know what you guys think about everything these two had to say on their podcast. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.